E a gente começa o programa de hoje com a música de Lemper. A cantora e compositora alemã passou aqui para 2 apresentações, em Sorocaba e na Sala São Paulo. Em seu novo projeto, ela homenageia Pablo Neruda. A outra adaptou, junto com o músico argentino Marcelo Nisinman, os poemas do autor chileno para um ciclo aí de canções. Então, com vocês agora, Ut. Good night, welcome, and first song, please.
Thank you.
Apenas te he dejado, vas en mi cristalina, o temblorosa o inquieta, herida por mí mismo o colmada de amor, como cuando tus ojos se cierran sobre el don de la vida que sin cesar te entrego. Y la sangre nos encontramos, amor mío, nos hemos encontrado, y nos mordimos como el fuego muerde, dejándonos je te laisse aussitôt, tu circules en moi cristalline, ou tremblante ou inquiète, blessée par moi, ou tout d'amour comblé, comme en cet instant où tes yeux se ferment sur le prison de la vie que je ne cesse de t'offrir. Nous avions soif et nous avons bu toute l'eau et tout le sang quand nous nous sommes rencontrés. Mon amour, quand nous nous sommes rencontrés, nous avions faim, alors la louche m'a mordu comme le feu. Il nous en reste à des blessures. Mais attends-moi, garde-moi ta douceur. Je t'offrirai aussi une rose. Pero espérame, guárdame tu dulzura. Yo te daré también
Muito bem. Good, welcome. Come here. We are just waiting for you right here in this yellow chair.
Okay, the yellow chair.
Guys, thank you very much for coming
here.
here.
Yes, my lovely, wonderful musician.
Yeah, wonderful
Obrigada.
musicians. Muito obrigado. Merci. Let me show the cover of the album, okay?
Okay.
Aqui está o álbum, se chama Forever, The Love Poems of Pablo Neruda. That's my first question. Why to do this homage to Pablo Neruda?
Well, he's a wonderful poet.
Yeah.
I love his legacy, the political legacy, his fight against fascism and oppression, his fight for freedom and democracy in his country, Chile, and in the world. He experienced a lot of problems in Europe too at the time of the last century. So as I come from a country that experienced a lot of fascism 100 years ago, not 70 years ago, I have a lot of sympathy for his journey. But besides that, the love poems are something very precious. They're a beautiful piece of poetry. They're full of pain, full of dialectic feelings, full of tears, and yet this unbelievable thing called love that nobody understands. And it all breaks our hearts and makes us happy at the same time. He wrote this so beautifully, and it had music inside already. So I decided to take 11 poems and put them into music, and with my beautiful band, bring them to life.
Yeah, sure.
But the choice of Neruda is related to your interpretations of Bertolt Brecht and Kurt Weill and Michael Nyman's songs on Paul Celan in a political way.
Yes, there is connection between Paul Celan, who suffered under fascism too, and anti-Semitism, of course, and Bertolt Brecht, Kurt Weill, lots of immigrants, people who had to flee from Germany. And yes, but even other poets that I love, like Léo Ferré and Jacques Brel, and even some of the repertoire of Edith Piaf and Astor Piazzolla with Horacio Ferrer, the fantastic poet. There's a lot of realism in this poetry, and it reflects the society and moments of like the large issues of humanity, which are solitude, oppression, and freedom, and yes, and somehow finding a way inside this world that doesn't give you, all that for granted.
So you're a composer too. You have composed many of the melodies of this record here with the other musician, that is Marcelo Nisinman. Together?
Well, some of it together and some of it all alone, yes. In the beginning, we worked together mostly on the project, and then it developed into more my own vision, and I took over.
Yeah.
And, well, I've been treating poetry. I did a project on Charles Bukowski, very crazy American poet, avant-garde, and put this into music also with my band, and that was a crazy, more theatrical project. This one is a little bit more romantic, and but this one I wanted to base on the experience of chanson, the way I love it the most, I wanted to find, if you heard that song now, Ausencia, there is, the heart of that song is inspired by Ne me quitte pas from Jacques Brel. And you might have, a parts of it heard that. So I wanted to take, what I love the most on stage is to reflect these great and at the same time tragic emotions. And I wanted to put them into the context of chanson the way I present it from, the German chanson, which is a bit more expressionist, the French one, which is more impressionistic. But all of it has the aspect of chanson réaliste in it. And so this album carries a lot of temperaments of music. There is some tango, which is from the Argentinian heritage. There is a blues and more the jazz influence, my life in New York, and also inspired by some of the collaborations I have. Then there is a French element of impressionism in there. So it carries a little bit the journey of music I have embraced over the years, and all of that reflects in the album. It's a great album of explosions and implosions.
The public and the journalists refers you to as the new Marlene Dietrich. Is true that once she called you in New York?
No, it was a long time ago, in 1988. It was actually in Germany. I only live in New York for 15 years. And I was just starting my career in Paris with the theater career, and she heard from me, and everyone said, "Oh my God, the new Marlene." And I wrote her a letter. She lived Avenue de Montaigne, all alone in solitude in her little apartment. And I received a phone call from her saying, because I had wrote a little postcard to her and say, "I'm so sorry they called me Marlene. What the hell are they doing? I'm just this young little beginner artist, and they put me in the category of a big Hollywood diva." And she contacted me, and we spoke for 2 hours on the phone, and she told me a lot of little secrets about her suffering and her complicated relationship with Germany, and her solitude and age, and her favorite poet was Rilke, and she recitated some Rilke to me at the time. And it was I wish I would have been older to have spoken with her, because then I would have understood better everything, the entire message she had to give me.
And you are a restless artist, because you're a singer, you are actress, you're a performer, you're a painter, and I think you don't have any kind of prejudice because you sing as well. You sing Neruda, you sing Kurt Weill, Brecht, and sing with Roger Waters, like you
In the Wall.
In the Wall.
Nick Cave.
Nick Cave.
Tom Waits.
Tom Waits. What is it? Is it a kind of a challenge to challenge yourself for different things?
Well, I mean, look, I am doing this for 30 years, and there's many chapters to my career. And I always stay curious. I always like adventures.
Yeah.
And after adventures, I resume, is this the right thing? Like the album I did with Tom Waits and Elvis Costello. And so I thought it was good, it was fun, but it's not me. And after that, I started writing music myself. It inspired me to say, okay, if they can do it and they're contemporary writers, I have enough to say myself, and I'm a crazy enough person also to write good song lyrics. So I just went ahead and started writing music myself, and that was the inspiration. But after that, after you write some, you say, okay, I've said enough now. I want to find some great writers like Pablo Neruda or Charles Bukowski, or my dream is Paulo Coelho, to do a collaboration with him.
This is your next project?
Oh, I would love that. I actually have email exchange with him now.
Yeah.
And the last book he wrote, the manuscript from Accra, I don't know the Portuguese name. I thought it was, you see, I'm not religious, but I'm a little spiritual, because the stage and music and everything has to do with the soul and the spirit of life, right? So in that context, I'm spiritual. And I do love this book. It just gave me a lot of peace where I felt suffering in my life. It really, I recommend it to everyone who sometimes cries at night.
Yeah.
Even men.
I just have to say something here em português. Nós temos que dizer aqui, com muito prazer, não é, que o evento todo da vinda da UT para o Brasil foi promovido pela TUCA, que é a Associação para Crianças e Adolescentes com Câncer. E nós temos aqui um músico hermano, que é Víctor, com el bandoneón, que é de Argentina, com bandoneón, que é de Alemanha, German,
Yes,
bandoneón,
it's original, yes.
dos anos 30, of the 30s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh no, it's a long earlier. It's in the 18th century it was invented.
18th century?
For the church originally.
Wow.
But the Germans said, we don't like you. And they immigrated it to Buenos Aires. And that's how the tango started, with the bandoneon.
Yeah,
See?
sure.
And he's a master. He's one of the new generation of the masters of the bandoneon. Yeah. Mi Victor Amor.
Bom, o Metrópolis faz agora então um intervalo e volta daqui a pouco com um espetáculo que combina dança com a música de bar. Até já!